Hey, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here with another 8-4 Gatecrash draft. Got a mythic rare here, Lazov. We also have Gorklan Rampager, which is really good for Gruul. Probably one of the best Gruul cards, if not the best. At least the best Gruul uncommon. Um, I mean, Lazov is certainly more interesting than Gorklan Rampager, and certainly puts me down a Dimir path. I think it's cool enough where I can build around it. But it sort of relies on your opponents having sweet creatures too. Otherwise, he's just a kind of hard to cast 4 mana 3/3 hexproof. But I mean, if you can kill their creatures, you get the removal to support it, and put some cards in their graveyard, he can change into something big. I guess it's worth a try. He's cool. Okay, follow-up pick. It's between Grizzly Spectacle and Screecher, and I think I want the Spectacle. I'd like it works so well with the Lazov. Rust Scarab, Boros Charm are also good cards. Probably wheeling the Shadow Slice. There's also a Mugging in here too, but we'll pretty happily take the Grizzly Spectacle. If we're gonna do this Dimir thing, all right, now we can do Hands of Binding, Agoraphobia, Death Cult Rogue. Death Cult Rogue's pretty awesome with the Cypher. I may just want Death Cult Rogue. Agoraphobia is very good though, but it doesn't really feed into Lazov, nor does Hands of Binding. Death Cult Rogue, on the other hand, if I'm in Dimir, is pretty essential for ciphering and getting in. So I think both of these cards, they actually, I don't know, I might put Death Cult Rogue in the same league as these two now. Depends. Okay, so we can do Glaring Spotlight, but it seems a little bit redundant with Lazov. Guess we could take the Shadow Slice. That's probably okay. We can also move into 3-color territory a little bit. Take like a Crown Ceratok or a Shamble Shark or something. But I guess I could take the Shadow Slice. Certainly not the best card in the pack. And I usually don't have a hard time finding Shadow Slice, and they don't always make the deck. So maybe I'd prefer to have the best card in the pack for me. And I'm thinking the Crown Ceratok's probably a little more realistically splashable than the Shamble Shark. It's not great in here though. I think I'll take it. Doesn't matter. It's good enough. Alright, now we definitely take the Undercity Informer. It works with the Lazov. Could also take Sage's Rodenizen, which works really well with Lazov too, but Undercity Informer's better. I like it more. Less requirements. There were some good cards in there. Here we go. Now we get a Sage's Rodenizen. It's also Sapphire Drake, which is good. Let's take the Denizen though. If we're gonna do the Lazov deck, let's make it work. Whatever his name is, Lazov, Lazov. I don't care. I don't care. Alright, now we're gonna take Gutter Skulk over the Confessor. Keymaster Rogue. Not much else. We'll take a Rogue. Alright, Guildgate or Dutiful Thrall for Esper. Let's take the Thrall. I mean, if I end up 2-color, I probably won't need the Guildgate. I guess this card's pretty color intensive, though. Requires 2 of both. That can be pretty annoying. Alright, let's take the Guildgate for now. Good. Rewarded with another one, but actually now I think we want the Corpse Blockade. It's a late Rust Scarab. Alright, let's take Simic Guildgate. There. Tabled that Shadow Slice. That's good. So, I mean, I guess we're kind of going for a mill strategy, but you don't really have to. In this format, it's just go for damage. The cards happen to mill at the same time, is really how it goes down most of the time. Just pick up cards like Denizen and Informers and Balustrade Spies, and you don't have, like, milling them out isn't very realistic. I actually haven't seen it yet, and I've done a ton of drafts. Okay, so now Duskmantle Guildmage is a 2-drop, and it's definitely on color, and it's cool with lays off. But there's also Balustrade Spy, which I might just like more. You don't have to pay for the mill. This card ultimately just kind of fell short. It isn't on. It's a 2-drop though, and this deck would like some 2-drops. I will say that. There's some really strong red in here too, and our removal's not great. So even Death's Approach is realistic, but I think I need the Spy here. It's such an important card. All right, sweet. Wow, got the Mind Grind. Yeah, we'll take that. Oh man, there's Grizzly Spectacle in here too. I mean, I guess I could try and go for straight mill, but Lazoff doesn't really like mill them. He just sort of. God, I want this Grizzly Spectacle, but I think we are actually taking the Mind Grind. I feel like if we pick up more Informers or Denizens or something, that could really pan out. Alright, I think we definitely slam the Death's Approach here now. Yeah, over the Agoraphobia. This is more of a Death's Approach deck. Alright, another Undercity Informer. That's pretty sick. Yeah, let's go for that. There's also Realm Right, which is cool. But Undercity Informer is pretty insane. Alright, now we can do Incursion Specialist or Dimir Keyrune. Dimir Keyrune works with the Mind Grind, fixes for this, but other than that, it's pretty unnecessary. I think I'd rather just take the Specialist. It blocks. It's a cheap creature to sack later to this. Alright. Oh, no, we're taking another Death's Approach here. Alright, well, this deck's kind of coming together. Yeah, I guess we take Paranoid Delusions, but it's not great. I mean, we are milling, but I don't know. This card kind of falls short for me sometimes, and we don't really have a lot of evasive guys. It's kind of the issue. Just passing all these good Simic cards. It might be worth it to splash for the Elusive Crisis. It blocks everything. We can easily make it bigger. Paranoid Delusions on it feels pretty good. Syndicate Enforcer's decent though. Keeps in 2-color. I mean, we can splash with the Simic Guildgate without too much issue. There's another one in here too. I just don't like Enforcer. I'm taking Crisis. Might seem strange, but that card's really good. And it works with Dimir so well. None of these cards matter. I guess we'll take that. And we'll take another Corpse Blockade. Probably going to need those. Mortis Strider works with the Sage's Row Denizen. Okay, Spell Rupture. I guess we can take a Denizen, but I don't know. Prefer to not play it. Okay, so, I mean, we have a decent amount of mill in here. I mean, Mind Grind can just finish them off. If they have like 11 lands out or something and it's late game, you can just finish them. Okay, what do we start her off with? Could take the Death Cult Rogue, could also take the Metropolis Sprite. I mean, the Sprite is usually just as evasive as the Death Cult Rogue, in all honesty. And it's a 2-drop, so it comes down faster for the Paranoid Delusion. Dimir Charm also is decent. It's kind of mill. We're a little bit short on removal. I guess I have 2 Death's Approach and a Grizzly Spectacle. I guess we could take the Dimir Charm maybe. Yeah, let's try that. It does some things. I'm probably going to forget about the what is it? Counter sorcery spell clause. Wow, this is a really sick pack. I think we got to take the Stolen Identity, but I'm trying to see where it's going. I mean, you can do it to their creatures is really the reason that you play it. But there's also Duskmantle Guildmage, Incursion Specialist, Gift, just tons of good cards. Let's hide this Crisis. I think it's actually not happening. Alright, Broker's pretty awesome. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, we can do Devour Flesh, which works well with Lazov, kind of. It's also removal. You can also just take a Gutter Skulk, which is a 2-drop. There's also Ether Eyes. So, plenty of options. Skulk, Flesh, Ether Eyes. I kind of just want the Devour Flesh, to be honest. We look more control-y. But I do want to sack to Undercity Informer. That's pretty important now that I think about it. And this trades with a lot of the same stuff I'm Devour Fleshing. Alright, that makes more sense to me, I guess. I want to be able to sack it to Informer. Okay, here I guess we just take another Skulk. Just get as many as we can. At this point, I'm not afraid to run a bunch of them. This is 23 cards though, so I will have to make a cut for this. Probably the Denizen, which I don't really need that much. I guess it works well with Stolen Identity, so maybe one of the Corpse Blockades. Rather just have a Skulk. Certainly got enough sack outlets. Wow, third Death's Approach? That's pretty cool. Alright, Paranoid Delusions is suddenly way more playable in this deck. I mean, I could take Simic Keyrune. Otherwise, what? I'm taking Clinging Anemones, which is pretty unexciting. I'm not going to play any of these, I think, so I'll just hate the Shamble Shark, which we've seen a trillion of. I'm not going to play 2 Shadow Slices. I guess I'll take an Enforcer just to get some Extort. This card's super late, really strong. Just hiding it, though, sadly. Guess we'll take Guild Gates. We actually might need some fixing in this deck. This is actually good for sideboard. I've found. None of those cards matter. I already have the Spell Rupture. Alright. So I have plenty of playables, which is good. Maybe I don't even play the Shadow Slice if I'm going to mill them out. But I haven't decided yet what we are or how we're going to build this exactly. Okay, so maybe we don't main deck the Corpse Blockades. Yeah. Let's put in the Denizen for now. Let's try and keep out the Corpse Blockades for now, too. So this is 24. I think I am actually playing the Guild Gates, only because Lazov can be hard to cast, and just getting double blue for Stolen Knight. We have like some color intensive spells. I guess not Death Cult Rogue so much, but I mean it's not a super color intensive deck, I'll admit. So maybe I only want one Guild Gate, but I'd be annoyed if I couldn't play Lazov. They really made his mana cost challenging. But we actually have a cool deck for him, which is nice. Maybe I think we want to run 17 lands. Let me think about my mana sinks. I guess if it's just Mind Grind, maybe I can run 16. This would definitely be a deck that would get hurt from... I mean, I can also kind of sink away mana with Bane Alley Broker, if you catch my drift. I can just sort of filter. This is actually a relatively low curve deck. My only real X spell is Mind Grind, and the rest is just sacking with Undercity Informer. So I may run 24 cards. What do I really want to cut from here anyway? I mean, Denizen's not great, like I said, but if we're trying to get value out of Paranoid Delusions and Stolen Identity, may be necessary, because our evasive cards are Incursion Specialist, sometimes Death Cult Rogue, Spy Rogue, and that's it. So not a lot. Denizen might actually be important. Plus late game it's sack with the Undercity Informer, because we do look like we have the potential to mill some opponents out. Would have been nice to get a few more Denizens, but can't always get what you want. Do I still want the Shadow Slice? That's the real question. I mean, it's good on a rogue. It's good on evasive guys. It's good with extort. I actually need the paranoid delusions in here because of Death's Approach. I think I'd rather actually play the Corpse Blockade over the Shadow Slice. It's way less, I mean, this is more bangy, but I think at this point, we're probably just going for the mill idea here. Plus, Corpse Blockade can, theoretically, you sack something and trade with something big and maybe turn Lazev off, or on, or at least threaten that. So I think that's probably more important. Alright, so let's run 16 lands. Substantially more black. Let's put in one guild gate. 9 and 6. Oh. Can I do 8-7? Well, alright, maybe I just run both then, if it's going to be like that. But I would hate to draw a guild gate off the top, I guess, when I'm really looking for that. Alright. Let's just err towards black. So 9 black, 8 blue. I mean, I still want blue on turn 2. I think I do this just because I still need the double blue for the bombs in this deck. So we're going to run it like this. Mortis Strider's pretty bad, I'll admit. But it actually has synergy with Undercity Informer, Sage's Road Denizen, and I think that's it. But still, that's enough for me. Kind of Incursion Specialist, but not really. But actually, Undercity Informer, Mortis Strider, Sage's Road Denizen is like a pretty sick little engine. Alright, so we're going to try this out. Hopefully we mill somebody. I'll see you round 1.